Hello, I'm Rose Styron, a poet and human rights activist. This filibuster seemed so important to me that I actually wrote my remarks, and I'm going to read them rather than just speak them. I'm honored to be part of the Leadership Council for the People's Filibuster. Since I spent part of so many decades abroad on missions for Amnesty International and Human Rights Watch and Beyond Conflict, I've become used to witnessing local and national sorrow over brutality and murder. But I must say, nothing prepared me for the Newtown massacre, for the brutality and murder, especially in my Connecticut neighborhood. It made me keenly aware of the need for wide-ranging gun safety, the regulations in my own country, which we need. Ironically, here, the abolition of the death penalty was one of my major human rights concerns and fights. I was a citizen of Connecticut, a few miles from Newtown in 2012, when the horrific shooting and killing of local students stunned us and the world. We knew casually the relatives of the children killed. I remember being so moved by our Congressman Chris Murphy, who did his best to lead our mourning and comfort the families and the community. When the Parkland School massacre happened, shocking us again, I was grateful for the emergence of senior student David Hogg as the leader of March for Our Lives across America, urging 18-year-olds and older students to vote, vote, vote. Last weekend, June 11th, 2022, David joined Americans across the country, especially the American Federation of Teachers, in another March for Our Lives. Unbelievably, the school shootings continued. Shootings have touched nearly every imaginable slice of American life. A black church in Charleston, South Carolina, a government-funded nonprofit center in San Bernardino, California, a gay nightclub in Orlando, a country music festival in Las Vegas, a high school in Parkland that we mentioned in Florida, a synagogue in Pittsburgh, a Walmart in majority Hispanic El Paso, followed just hours later by a shooting in a popular nightlife corridor in Dayton, Ohio, and an Asian American massage business in Atlanta. Then on May 14th this year, in a black neighborhood of Buffalo, another attack left 10 dead and brought mass shootings back into the news. And then, tragically, the shooting in Uvalde 10 days later. Since the massacre at Columbine, at their high school in 1999, where 12 students lost their lives, the shootings have become more frequent the weapons used easily procured. The United States has had 2,032 school shootings since 1970, and staggeringly, 948 of these shootings have taken place since Sandy Hook Elementary School in my new town, Connecticut. Guns are the number one cause of death among American children and teenagers. I suspect that, like me, few Americans know that gun-related deaths happen 5 times more than drownings. Why is it that Australia, Britain, Scotland, and Wales passed laws almost immediately following school shootings, but we have stalled? Over the past several years, these countries have seen an approximate 30 deaths a year related to guns, compared to the United States' 19,384 in 2020 alone. 30 compared to over 19,000. Let that sink in. We know gun safety measures work. I was most disturbed to learn that although under federal law, the minimal age to buy a handgun from a licensed dealer is 21, but the age limit drops to 18 if the gun is being purchased from a private, unlicensed seller, which could be a neighbor or someone online or at a gun show. In addition, to purchase a long gun, which incredibly includes rifles such as AR-15s, the minimum age required from a licensed dealer is just 18, not even 21. So now, I believe, is the time for bipartisan solutions and actions, not to see the connection between two policies right now. On one hand, lawmakers who claim to value life are actively restricting a woman's right to choose abortion, and at the same time saying that it's okay for the children to grow up in a violent world where they could be among those killed by mistakenly permitted and evilly used firearms. I'm glad to speak out through 24/7 today. We need to bring the voices of everyday people directly to Congress right now. We need to take action, big action, on gun safety now. I hope everyone listening will join me in demanding that Congress take meaningful action to end the epidemic of gun violence ASAP. Thank you.